Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to today's webinar. I'm Michael. I'm going to be your host. Session should last probably in the region of about half an hour. It's quite a simple feature, AI document capture, but we're running through what it is, how you go about using it. Obviously, we're running some live demonstrations as well, so you can see sort of the flow of work into Sage 50 accounts, see what that looks like, get a feel for it. Now, just before we get started with the webinar itself, a little bit of housekeeping, which we always tend to go through. So as normal, you don't need a microphone for these sessions. If you've got one, if you do enable it, you will find it's muted automatically. You can't unmute yourself. So any questions that you have for us today, you'll need to pop them into the questions panel. You do that by clicking the little speech bubble icon, which is on the taskbar down the right-hand side of your screen. When you do that, it'll expand. You'll have access to the text box in the bottom corner then. So that's where you can start typing any questions or comments. Remember to click send, otherwise we don't see them. And either myself or Abby will reply to those. Now, if it's myself, I'll probably just be reading them out, maybe answering those verbally, or if I can, I'll maybe try and run a little bit of a demo on that as well. Abby will be typing answers in, she'll be pointing in the right direction. It may be a straightforward answer, it may be a link to one of our help articles, or if it's a bit more complex, she may advise you to get in touch with our support team. But do engage with us, do keep your questions and your comments coming. If anyone wants a copy of today's slides, they are available to download via the handout option. Do take the opportunity during the session, they're not available afterwards. The webinar platform doesn't support that, so take that opportunity during the session to download them if you want a copy of them. You will find detailed information about what we're covering today though in our help centre. I'll be touching on that a little bit later as well. Now, as normal, we record our webinar. A link to the recording will be included on the follow-up email. You'll receive that round about an hour after we finish the session today. And that email will also include links for our upcoming webinars and also our recordings. And I'll be telling you more about some of those sessions towards the end of the session. Right, let's have a look at what we're covering though. So this is what's covered in today's webinar. Quite a short agenda, quite a simple feature, this one. So what is AI document capture? So a little bit of an introduction to that one. I'll then run through a bit of a demonstration for you. And then once we've done that, I'll show you where you can find out more information about it should you want it. Just at the end, we'll explain more about the additional support that's available, give you an idea of some of those webinars that we've got coming up as well. And if there are any outstanding questions, then we'll try and pick as many of those up as we can. Do bear with us with the questions, or just myself and I'll be on the session today. So maybe a little delay here and there getting back to you. If we don't get a chance on the session, what I'll do is I'll check the questions afterwards and I can always drop you an email later on today. So let's start with a brief introduction to what AI document capture actually is. Now, some of you may have come across AutoEntry. It's a product that you have access to as part of your subscription for Sage 50 accounts. And this is I suppose a cut down version. And the idea of this, it streamlines the entry of purchase invoices and credit notes into Sage 50. Now, it's not going to be applicable and advantageous to everyone, but you do have this option available should you want to. It should be included as part of your subscription. So it's fully integrated and obviously leverages AI to process transactions quickly and efficiently. So again, the idea is it reduces that manual entry. So if you've been emailed an invoice or a credit note, rather than sit there keying that in, you can add that via the AI document capture option, and that will bring that information into your accounts for you. But you'll see that in action in just a moment. Now, AI document capture was originally called automated payments, purchase automation, I should say, and has been renamed in version 32 to AI document capture. So the same features been available in Sage 50 accounts since version 31. We're up to version 32 now. So the name might have changed depending which version you have. Now, if you've already got a Sage account connected to your accounts, which you would need for things like 2FA, remote data access, bank feeds. So all of those features which will require a Sage account to be connected to your accounts, then using AI document capture, it's quick and easy. So one of those that I look at and I think, oh, it's that easy to switch on. It's literally, you're into the connected services menu, you're down to AI document capture, you access that, and it just opens. It's there ready to use. Now, when you use it, you'll see this in the demonstration as well. Invoices and credits, you have that option to either manually upload that document. So saying, right, I'm going to browse for that document and browsing for the likes of, say, your PDF document, for instance, or it can be emailed. Now you have the choice of when you receive it, do I just forward on that email to a designated email address? I'll come on to that in a moment as well. Or do you get the supplier to send it directly to that email address? Now that email address will be automatically allocated to you, and you would see that within the AI document capture area. And you'll see that in my demo in just a moment. Now the AI recognizes different invoice formats. It'll identify things like names, dates, addresses, and most importantly for your processing, line items and values, so things like your tax amounts. And it will learn continuously. The more you use it, the smarter it's going to get. So that's the theory. And Jenny, quick question from yourself there. Do you have to pay more for AI document capture? No, it is included as part of your subscription. It's a bit like, almost like using things like remote data access. You don't pay extra for that. Using bank feeds. These are connected services that essentially are, as we introduce them, a lot of them are just included automatically as part of your subscription. Again, making it easier to use your software, make it quicker to process. So let's get stuck into, I'll find the next slide, there we go. We'll get stuck into a bit of a demonstration just so you can see what I've been talking about. So I'm going to be using the professional level today of Sage 50 accounts. It is version 32 as well. If you're not using version 32 yet and you think, well, why haven't I got that? If you want to get hold of that, just get into our help center, just search for version 32, and there's a great article on downloading and installing it. It'll guide you through that process. Here's all you did mention there. Is it similar to auto entry that was introduced a while back? Yeah, very similar. But I think auto entry is a lot more complex than what we're about to cover today. So yeah, auto entry still has some advantages over AI document capture, and AI document capture is very much, there are still further enhancements to come on it, which again we'll explain as we go through. Right, I'm going to show you how it works. It's a really simple feature. Very quickly, I'll pick up Nicola's query as well. So Nicola, you mentioned there, can AI document capture be used alongside the purchase order module? Yes and no. The invoices itself will not link to a specific purchase order. That's something you cannot specify. I don't know if that's in the plans just yet. Right, let's have a quick look at it. So this is my desktop. I've already got a Sage account connected. I've got the connected services menu at the top. If you're finding some options are missing, and it's something that we often find as well with things like, if I go into customers, Copilot Insights, if you run an up-to-date version, you've got a connected account, then Copilot Insights, you should have that as well. If you find that is the case where some of these options aren't available to you, just go to Tools, Activation, and you have an option, Refresh License. It'll contact our license server, and then if necessary, it will update your license and it'll just restart your software for you. Right, anyway, we've got the connected services menu, and I'm going to go into AI document capture. Now you'll see there's two options here, and I'm on version 32, so it is called AI Document Capture on version 32. So the name's changed a little bit depending on the version that you're on. So we've got two options. Actually, I'll just quickly cover the capture settings first of all. Very little to it. By default, this wouldn't be ticked. Obviously, that's still ticked from my last demo on Friday. We'll come back to these ones a little bit later on in the demo. So for now, we'll just OK that. So we're going to go into connected services and AI document capture. And it'll load the window for me. So nice and simple. Now, the first thing to quickly mention is that we've got an email address here. Now, that will be automatically allocated. You can't dictate what that is. That will be allocated to you based on availability and, of course, based around your company name as well. So in my case, my company's called Sage Demos V32. So it's allocated Sage Demos V32-878 purchases at ai.sage.com. So that's my allocated email address for AI document capture. So if I'm wanting either to email the invoices myself, once I've received them from my suppliers, I can email it to that address, or I could upload the files manually. So as it stands, I've got nothing sat here. Obviously, if I click refresh, it would check for any sort of emailed or any email documents, anything like that. Again, nothing there at this point. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to manually upload a couple of files. So we'll start with the first one. I'm just going to browse for that. Obviously, if you've got multiple screens or maybe you don't have everything maximized, you could just drag it into there as well. But I'm just going to click browse. So I've got mine saved in this folder. I'm just going to select my first one. It's a PDF document. You can see the file types that are supported. So generally, the common ones that you're going to receive, things like PDF copies or images. So let's say you've received a paper invoice, you've scanned it, you'll probably save that as an image file. So in this case, it's just a PDF that I've got. So browse for your file, select it. I'm going to click open, and then I'll upload that. Now we get this sort of this little bit of, I suppose, information. If you don't want to keep getting that, and I think sometimes when you first start using a feature, Bank Feeds has this as well. It'll give you this sort of help screen to give you a little bit of information. I would tend to leave that on initially, just so you can get used to what's there. And then if you're happy with that, what you can do, so you don't get it, you can tick the box to say, don't show me this again. I think otherwise, if you keep seeing it, it feels a little bit clunky. Right, so anyway, I've continued. There it is there. If I want to view that document, I can just click the little link that's provided. It'll open it for me and I can see what's included. So I've got this, how many items are on there? About 15 items or so on that invoice. You might have shorter ones, it might just have single line invoices. You might have much bigger ones. So I'll just close out of that. So anyway, it says processing at the moment. Now, just to speed things along, I'm going to click refresh. And it's telling me at this point, right, for the one I've selected, a review is needed. So I'm going to click review. And some things it hasn't recognized yet. So it's an invoice. I can choose either invoice or credit note. So we'll choose invoice. Which supplier is it for? I'll say it's that one. It then prompts me, do you want to apply this supplier's default nominal code, tax code, and apartment values? Now, if I choose yes, it'll fill all that in for me. So I'm not going to have to go through the various item lines and specify that myself. And remember that settings screen that we looked at where I said I ticked the checkbox from the previous demo. If I had that ticked, it would just do that automatically. Now, if I click yes at this point, I'll still be able to amend some of the information. But you can see I've got the date there. I can change that if required. I've got a reference. It's picked that up from the document itself. And then it's picked up the item lines as well. So you can see, oh, it's a good guess. I've got 15 items. Now at this point, if I need to change things like nominal codes or departments, if you're on the professional level and you want to link a specific item or more than one item to a project or a certain cost code, you can do that. It's just like doing a batch invoice. The idea is this saves you having to key that in. So how long would it have taken me to key in that 15-line invoice if I want them all as separate items? So it's got all the information in there. I can amend the details as well. I can click into it and I can, if I want to amend it, maybe it's picked up and maybe it was a typo, maybe it was a typo in the document and you're quite anal about things like that, so you want to correct it yourself, you can do that. If there's a certain item and you think, well, that shouldn't be included, you can highlight it and you can remove the relevant row from the invoice itself. But other than that, if I'm happy with that and I've filled everything in, I click OK. And it tells me, right, as everything's there now, it's ready for posting. Joanna, you mentioned there about funds. So if you're charity based, it does not give you at this stage, it does not give you the option to allocate it to the invoice to a fund. Remember, this is for purchase invoices and purchase credits. But it doesn't, at this stage, it doesn't let you link to the charities option. This is ready for posting though, this one. So if I just highlight that, I'll click post selected transactions. And that's it done. Now, one thing to bear in mind is the way this works. Some people ask about charges and things like that. As I mentioned earlier, this is included as part of your subscription where you've got this available. The higher up the range you go, the more credits you gain. So for an invoice, it will use 1 credit. So it tells me how many credits I've got here. So in my example, the subscription I've got, I'm entitled to 200 credits. So potentially I could bring in 200 invoices in this way each month. Saves me keying in. I mean, that's quite a bit. So think how many you would actually need or require. But again, single line invoices, you might think, well, actually, I don't really benefit from that. It's not going to save me much time. But an invoice like that, where you've got loads of items on it, really beneficial. So I'm just going to close out of that for a moment. And if I go into my suppliers list, find the one that I just allocated that invoice to. So we'll highlight that one, go into activity. And then I can find that invoice on my list. So there I've got it highlighted. It was invoice 93, and I can see the individual item lines. Now, what it doesn't do at this stage is it doesn't currently attach the document. Now, AutoEntry would do that. It attaches the document, the PDF copy that I imported. It automatically attaches that to the transaction for me. That's something that's going to come further down the line, but at this stage, it doesn't do that. However, you can easily attach that document. So when you're looking at the activity, I just click on the plus sign, and then I could easily browse to wherever I've got that document held. So there it is there. And I'll just open that one. Okay, that one. And now I've got that document attached to this transaction on my audit trail. So I can easily access that from the activity as well. Some of you may have attended the webinar on Monday where we looked at transaction attachments. So I suppose the idea of transaction attachments is, let's say you're speaking to your supplier, you want to quickly access an invoice that you're discussing. Same for your customers for that matter. You don't have to go and pull that out your filing system. You could just click your little paperclip icon there. in the attached column, and it means you've then got easy access to that relevant document. I double click it. Right, we're talking about, I've got a copy of that document in front of me now. So it makes it really easy in that point, but obviously auto entry currently, if you are using that facility, that currently automatically attaches the document, whereas currently AI document capture doesn't do that just yet. So that's in the pipeline, that one. So as you can see, really quick to bring those in. So let's have a quick look. A couple of questions come through. Do my credits renew every month? Yes. If you want to find out more about the credits, you can refer to our Help Center article. So if you know what package you've got, what subscription you have, then it will tell you how many credits you'd be entitled to as part of that subscription. So it does vary. Obviously, Essentials, I think Essentials starts at, if you've got Essentials only, it starts at something like 25 credits a month. And then the higher up the range you go with your subscription, the more credits you would gain. There was also a question about, does this work with Client Manager? Currently, accountants don't have access to the AI document capture feature, or I don't think you have access to many of the cloud connected features at this stage. I believe there is a project in the pipeline for that one at the moment as well. Something I've been asked about, or for on the likes of when we demonstrate Sage Copilot for 50 accounts. Again, as a client manager, you don't have access to that currently, but watch this space. Josephine, you mentioned, is there a, I'm assuming you meant charge there for attaching documents to the ledgers. No. So you've had this for quite some time, the ability to manually attach documents to your transactions. It has recently expanded with a release of version 32, so you can do it against bank transactions, you can do it against customer transactions as well. Journals, you've been able to do that for quite some time as well, and also things like your VAT return as well. Right, let's just run through that process one more time. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to go into Connected Services. I'll choose that AI document capture option. And this time I will tick the box. So I'll then not be prompted, do you want to use the sort of the nominal code and tax code department from the suppliers account? Again, just making it a little bit slicker. So we'll just okay that. We'll go back to Connected Services, AI document capture. Just let it update. I'll just manually upload a file again. Obviously, you can upload multiple files simultaneously if you want to, but we'll just choose the one. Obviously, there are checks built in as well, so it will say, right, actually, you've already uploaded this one. So there will be checks like that as well. So I'll just upload that one. It's actually an exact copy of what we just looked at, but just with a different number. It's made it very easy for me to generate that one then. So we'll just continue. There it is. I'll just quickly refresh it just to get it to reread the information. It tells me a review's needed. I'll just specify supplier. So we'll choose that one this time, Michael's Demos. Just pull through the relevant information. You can see it didn't prompt me this time. Do you want to pull through that nominal code, department, tax code, etc.? Again, I can still override those if I need to. And then we'll just okay that. So it recognizes everything's ready. I can post it if I want to at that point. Again, I might, if I've got a few transactions there, might highlight a few at the same time and then post the selected transactions. Tells me at the bottom that has been successfully posted. Again, if I go into the relevant account, so it was Michael Demos, I added that one too. Have a look at the activity. We should see invoice 94, which we do, it's at the top there. and it's got the relevant items attached to it. So at the top, it's what you would term the grouped transaction, what we would term the header transaction. And in the bottom box is what we term the splits, so the individual item lines. If you're looking at that and think, well, I don't get that breakdown, it's these options at the top. So you can show or hide the detail of the relevant transaction that you've got selected. Again, just to sort of re-emphasize that fact, easy enough to attach the document afterwards if you're doing it manually. Just a case of clicking the plus, clicking browse, browsing for the relevant document or documents. There may be more than one. I'll select it, click open, and that's that now attached. So I've got easy access to that going forward. So Jenny, you mentioned there, will it pick up any duplicate supplier invoices? So again, there are measures in place. It will try and identify that for you. Elihan, you mentioned there, why does it not pick up the supplier from the document? It's just the way I've done that. So I've just sort of emailed myself, as it were. So that's why it's not recognizing it. Josephine, you mentioned there as well, your question, is it possible to upload the invoice as a single line item rather than bringing in the invoice line by line? No. It is going to bring the individual lines in as it stands. Something that has been requested though, so if you want to put that through as a sort of a suggestion as well, you'd be more than welcome to do that. And that goes for anything in your software. If you spot anything in your software and you think, well, I wish it would just, for me, it would be beneficial if it worked like this, or I had this option. If you spot anything like that at all, just click your home option, top left corner. And then all you need to do is scroll down to the roadmap area, give it a click. It'll take you to this web page. And on here, you can click an option to submit an idea or vote. So if you click that, it'll take us to what you term the Sage 50 Accounts Ideas Board, or the Ideas Portal as it's termed. And it will let you submit new ideas and let you vote on them as well. So anything at all, if you think, well, that could just be a little bit more beneficial, and it could be something very minor, it could be something, I suppose minor things can make a big change to the way that you work. Things like extending field lengths. So recently, I think which one was it? I think it was to do with the product description. It increased quite a bit on a recent version, because people needed more space for longer product descriptions. So things like that, it might seem quite minor, but actually for you, it could have a big impact. But it might be big changes that you want to see as well. Now again, if you were on version 32 and a couple of people have mentioned, why can't I see that option? So if you're on version 32, you're on. So let's say you've got a subscription for your software, so you're on the latest version and you can't see those options. Try just going in within your software, go to Tools, Activation, and then refresh your license and see if it then appears. It might just need your license refreshed for those to appear. If not, if you still can't then see that, get in touch with our support team and they can check your account. It might have just been missed off. So it should be there. So if that's the case, they can get that added to your account. Janice, you also mentioned, how do you set up Sage to read the invoices in the first instance? So to access that option, so that connected services option, if the first time you click it, if you do not have a Sage account connected to Sage 50 accounts, then it will guide you through that process. And if you don't actually have one, which you should do, then it will guide you through that process, creating one there and then. But other than that, once it is connected, just connected services, click the option. And I think the first time I accessed it, literally I was surprised. It just came up with this window and I thought, oh, great. It literally is that simple. Right, keep your questions coming. I'm just going to pop back to the slides because that sort of completes the demo. But keep your questions coming. We'll keep trying to answer as many as we can. I'm just going to pop back to the slides for a moment though. Just to quickly mention, if you are wanting to find out more, so if you want a bit more of the theory, what is AI document capture? I've included some links on the handout. This will just take you across to our help center. So enabling AI document capture as well. Also that what is AI document capture link will take you to an article where you can see what would be your credit entitlement. The other option, of course, is just to access it, and it would tell you at the bottom how many credits you have available. And again, that will refresh on a monthly basis. So final call for questions. Remember, there is that opportunity to download a copy of today's slides via the handout option, and also your follow-up email, which you'll receive in round about an hour's time. That will include a link to today's recording, a link to our future webinars, so what have we got coming up, and also a link to our recordings page as well. Loads of recordings available for you. I'll come back to questions in just a moment though. Now for the webinars, nice and easy to access anyway. These links are provided for you, but if you want to check that out, you can just head along to sage.co.uk/webinars, and you can access our pages for Sage 50 and Sage 50 accounts and Sage 50 payroll, both the live registration pages, and access the recordings as well. We've got a couple of digital badge sessions coming up, or new digital badge webinar series, I should say, for Sage 50 accounts. So next month in August, we will be running our next digital badge series on data management. So helping you to manage that. So keeping within the recommended guidelines, deleting customers, suppliers, nominal bank, clearing your audit trail maybe using inactive records, and how you go about managing your data in the first place. So that will start next month. Those sessions will be repeated throughout September as well. In September, we'll be introducing our digital badge series for the report designer, and again, repeating those in October. So plenty of opportunity to attend those sessions if you'd like. But watch out for that follow-up email. It's got all the information on that you require, the relevant links. Now, just in case anyone needs to get away, let me quickly thank you for attending. Appreciate you coming along. I hope you've enjoyed it, giving you a little bit of an idea. Obviously, it's included in your subscription, so give it a go, see how you get on. Larger invoices, obviously, it's going to save you a lot more time. Shorter invoices, maybe not so much. And you might think if your invoices are maybe just always like a single item line, you might well think, well, actually, it doesn't save me a lot of time doing it that way. I'll just continue entering it manually. But certainly that 15-line invoice, it came in very, very quickly, and I had very little to do. I didn't even have to, once I ticked that box, I didn't even have to fill in things like nominal codes or tax codes. It just did that automatically for me. But have a go of it. Now, as you leave, there is an opportunity to complete our little survey. So I'm sure some of you attended webinars before and will know what that's all about. We love reading those comments. So any thoughts, ideas that you'd like to share with us about webinars, topics you'd like to see covered going forward, maybe ideas for improving this specific webinar, then let us know. Do take that minute to complete that. And your follow-up email will be with you in around about an hour's time. So if you're about to leave, many thanks. Do check out the live registration page when you get a chance. Get yourself signed up for some more sessions, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Right, let's have a quick look at some of those questions then. So Elihan, you mentioned there, can we use both auto entry and AI document capture? Yeah, it's possible to do that. Obviously, they're very, very similar. Currently, auto entry is a little bit more powerful in that it will automatically attach your documents, etc. for you. Another question, can AI capture be used for stock purchase invoices? So it doesn't integrate in that way. So if you're on about purchase orders, it doesn't integrate in that way. This option, AI document capture, it will work currently with, it's equivalent of entering a batch invoice or a batch credit, which again, they themselves do not link to the stock side. So if you still need to record and adjust stock levels for your purchases, then you would still very much need to go via the purchase orders option. Let's see what else we've got. Andrew, you mentioned there, if you send an email with an attachment that is a file that contains various invoices, will it go through, or would I have to send the individual PDFs? I've never tried that. I'll let you know. I never thought of that one, but yeah, quite possible. But again, you could always get your supplier to email it to that, to that address direct if you wanted to. All you need to do is then access AI document capture, click refresh, and if there's anything sat waiting, it should pull it through, ready for you to link to an account and process and get that added into your accounts. See what else we have. See if I can find anything that Abby hasn't picked up already. Quite a few of them obviously follow the same theme, so we're not going to answer every single question. We're just trying to pull out common themes. Victoria, you mentioned you had an issue trying to link. If you're getting any errors, and that goes for any other connected services in your software, if you get any problems using them, just get in touch with our support team. They'll look at that one with you. Obviously, try and resolve the problem with you online. Gina, you mentioned there you saw the show posted button on the screen. Let me quickly show you that one. Might as well. So I'm already in there. I've got that little show posted option. So it will give me a list of the transactions that are there. What it doesn't do, it won't show me the transaction numbers that have been generated and posted onto the audit trail. It doesn't do that, but I've got a list of those documents should I need to refer back to them. But again, I think probably the best workflow at the moment is to, once you've posted those transactions, is to go into the activity and then manually attach that document so you've got copies. You're not having to come back into this area and try and find the document that you're after. Hope that makes sense. Obviously, you can filter by date range, etc. at the top as well, if needed. Right, okay, well, I think we'll end the webinar just at that point then. As I say, I will have a good look through those questions, see if there's any sort of themed questions that we haven't picked up yet, and if necessary, I'll drop you an answer via email later on this afternoon. So many thanks for coming along. Again, do take that minute to complete that survey. That should pop up as you leave. It'll be really appreciated. We read all those comments to see if we've hit the mark or not. And your follow-up email will be with you in round about an hour's time. So hopefully we'll see you on some other webinars as well. Many thanks.